Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit-Down. Wait, listen. All you can hear is my air conditioning. We're an hour earlier than normal. If you've been following along today, you've probably heard construction in the background of my videos because they're breaking down, like, literally piece by piece, a parking garage just outside of my building, right outside of my window directly, and it's like usually it goes to like 5 and 4 o'clock. It stopped today, and it's just, I like the silence. It's very nice. But you know me, I can't really be silent, especially if we're talking movies. And oh, do we got a goodie to talk about, man. It's one of those, like, you know me. I'm a big action guy. And there have been a couple action movies that have dropped, and there was one in particular, and I hate that I keep going back to it or keep comparing because I don't like to do that, but like, the disappointment that I had in this film, which I thought did a very good job from story and world building, but just dropped the ball completely on the action. This is like, the movie was, that's what the movie was there for, was Snake Eyes. I just thought they cut around the action, didn't know how to shoot the action, didn't have a style to the look of the action, and it made you feel like you were constantly missing things. Let me tell you, this movie, it don't do none of that, man, because you've got two all-out pros involved in this. In Mr. Martin Campbell, who's directed such featured action movies as The Mask of Zorro, GoldenEye, Casino Royale, just to name a few. That is a dude who knows what he's doing behind the camera in an action movie. And your lead, she's one of the best all time, man. Like, anytime she pops up and re-enters the world of action, you just sit back and go, oh yeah, Maggie Q is just freaking one of the best out there. And the two of them crushed this movie. I had so much fun at the theater with this one that I just can't wait to talk about it with you. So let's not waste any more of your time or my time. Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We're getting ready to dive in spoiler free into The Protégé. And like I said, man, I had an absolute ball at the movie theaters with The Protégé. This is a super fun, super slick action movie, man. Like, from the dialogue to the performances to the style, like, this thing is so cool. Like, just the action is slick and like hits, and the story isn't overly complicated, but it is enough to get you invested in your main characters and really be invested in the story that they're playing. The thing I love the most about The Protégé is the Michael Keaton Maggie Q relationship. Like, they do a lot of dancing around each other and a lot of cat and mouse, and all of it works wonderfully, and both Maggie Q, no shock, and Michael Keaton knock this thing out the ballpark from the action standpoint. Like, I was sitting in the theater going, oh man, Michael Keaton is showing us what old Batman is going to look like when he hits that Flash movie, man. And like, I'm pretty sure Keaton did more choreography in this movie than he did in any of the Batman movies. And like, choreography that lives up to 2020 action, man. Like, oh, it was. But let's wait. You know me, I always save the actors for last. Let's start with the man who helmed this movie, and that, of course, is Martin Campbell and writer Richard Wenk. And like I said, Wenk delivers a script here that is slick, it is smooth, it is cool. The pacing, like, the script is built for pacing that just works inside of the mystery that we're messing around with, and sets itself up so nicely for action by never getting overcomplicated. Like, it is a very straightforward kind of revenge type action flick, and it allows Maggie Q to take her character in interesting places. It allows Keaton, to go to some interesting places, and it allows Samuel L. Jackson to kind of be that presence that just exists throughout the whole movie, whether he is on screen or off screen, which is something he is so good at doing. And Wenk, I think, from a script standpoint, did everything that you needed him to do here. Like, the movie feels tangible, the dialogue and the interactions between these characters feel real, the characters feel real, and the situations that they're in and how they get out of them feel like they all match up very well with the characters that are asked to do these things. So, from a writing standpoint, I thought Wenk did exactly what you needed to do here. And that is simply just tee this thing up for Martin Campbell to knock out the park. And that's exactly what he does, man. The pacing in this movie is wonderful. As you know, Martin Campbell knows how to shoot action. And although I keep going back to it, Like, my biggest issue with something like Snake Eyes was that you just cut around the action. The way you cut around the action made me feel like I was missing punches or missing things that were happening. Or you would start to build something that looked like it was about to be really cool, and then you would shift your focus. None of that happens here because you don't have multiple action things going on. Like, we are just with Maggie Q this whole movie, and if she's in a spot where there is action happening, that's where the action's happening, and you stay through all of it. And the wonderful things that, Campbell does from behind the camera just give you wide moment shots where, like, you see some tight, cool choreography that involves the whole body. I'm going to sit the camera out wide enough so you can see all that choreography. If it's all hand-to-hand and it's all, like, from here up, then I'll come in and I'll push in and I'll get, in close and I'll cut, give you both perspectives. But when I'm cutting, it's in a spot where I don't feel like I'm missing a piece of the choreography. And kudos to their choreography team, because there is some really tight, intricate choreography, specifically for Maggie Q and Michael Keaton. Now, Michael Keaton has one of those, like, hand-to-hand, where, like, you're using, like, cloth to, like, fight as well, and, like, I literally was just sitting there in awe. I was like, I've never seen Michael Keaton do anything like this, and, like, it looks really good, and it look, some of the things that happen to Keaton's character, like, definitely is a stunt double. Like there are moments where he, like, gets flipped through the air, thrown through glass tables. I know that that's not Michael Keaton, but when you're in tight and it's this, it is. And seeing that was something that I had never gotten at that level with Keaton. And it just made me go, oh, dude, the things they could do with him as Old Man Batman now, seeing him do this, get me excited. And the thing that Campbell does, even though somebody like Michael Keaton can really pop, somebody like Samuel Jackson, who just constantly can pull your attention over to what he's doing, he sets this movie up in a way that just showcases Maggie Q the entire movie, from what she does as an actor to what she does as an action star. Like, between what Campbell does behind the camera and what Q does in front of the camera, together they just prove yet again that Maggie Q is one of the best. And all of the action sequences are great. Like, whether they're short, whether they're elongated, everything that they ask Maggie Q to do, like, it just fits that slick, cool action vibe that Campbell and Wenk have created. And, you mix in a solid score that's able to pick you up when you need it and bring you in on some of the emotional, more dramatic moments. Like, this thing just worked. And when you get to the acting, like, even if the story isn't always hitting or every piece of the movie has you completely engaged, the acting performances pick you up where you might slip. And like I said, Samuel Jackson is a guy who just knows how to command the screen, who demands your attention. And his character here, who's, in the story, he's an assassin. He comes across this little girl and basically takes her in and raises her to also be an assassin, who turns out to be Maggie Q. And they get involved in something, and things happen that eventually make Q and Michael Keaton's paths cross. Keaton also an assassin. You kind of have this, like I said, cat and mouse game going on between the two of them, but from Samuel L. Jackson's standpoint, he's like that father figure to Maggie Q, and that's where those emotional beats hit. The intimate, quiet, small moments between Q and Samuel L. Jackson early in the movie really set up for some of the emotional beats that hit later on in the film. And like I said, Jackson just has this presence to him that whether he is on screen or off screen, and specifically in a movie where he is the father figure to our lead, you feel his presence the whole movie. And that also adds to some of that emotional weight and some of the things that Maggie Q is going through as a character. Michael Keaton, as I said, another assassin, he's phenomenal here. He is someone who can play the cat and mouse game better than most, and he can play the good and bad better than most. And what's cool with his assassin character, Rembrandt, is he has a respect for Maggie Q. And a physical admiration. If you've seen the trailers, like, it definitely seems like there are some sparks between these two characters, and the chemistry between both of them is off the charts. But because of all of that, it allows the character of Rembrandt to kind of dance around where he's like, you can be rooting for him, you can be rooting against him, you can be rooting for him and against him at the same time. Like, Keaton walks that tightrope so well. And it's the perfect opposite for Q to play off of throughout the course of the movie. And as I said, Maggie Q, once again, proves to the world that she is one of the best action stars in the game. from an action standpoint, everything she does is flawless. It's one of those where you have somebody who can do all this. So more often than not, when you're watching what's on screen, you know that it's Maggie Q. You can see that it's Maggie Q, and that adds to the realism. And having a lead like that trickles down to someone like Michael Keaton, who has a bunch of action where you have to use stunt doubles just because with his age, there's things that he's not going to be able to do. But, could also put him in a spot where it's like, well, I don't need to do the choreography, but Maggie Q's doing it, I step up to the plate. And that's what you want in your lead action star, is someone who can bring the action in a way where it trickles down. And maybe people that you didn't expect to do their own stuff step in and try to do more and learn more choreography. And all of that just makes it feel realer and amplifies the action. And then from an acting standpoint, Maggie Q is one of the best. Like, she's so good. And like I said, that relationship that she has with Samuel L. Jackson, it feels so raw and real. And like the connection that they have, it feels like a father-daughter. And the love that is between these two, you get some really wonderful, like, intimate, like, father-daughter type moments. Like, spoilers, Samuel Jackson's character, Moody's birthday comes up in the course of the movie. So Maggie Q's character, Anna, gets him a little something. And where the gifts come from and why she gets what she get, like, it was just something that you enjoyed being around. And how that plays into the story and that relationship and how it affects Q as the story kind of progresses just allows her to take the character to some really interesting places. And then when you put her opposite of Keaton, you're able to go to even more interesting places, because like I said, there is the sexual tension between Anna and Rembrandt is like off the charts, man. Like, I would have never anticipated the chemistry between Michael Keaton and Maggie Q to be so palpable, but it is. Every time they're on screen, it's electric. And the way that she is able to play into that cat and mouse game that she's having with Keaton throughout the whole film, it's just enjoyable to watch her do, whether she's being coy or sneaky or affectionate or just downright badass. And all of those things combine together to give you a really rock-solid, very enjoyable summer action movie. Never too complicated. Set yourself up for great action and set yourself up for 3 phenomenal performances that then allow the rest of the cast, whether it's Robert Patrick as Billy Boy, who kind of has a connection to Q, or Ray Fearon, who plays Duquette, who has a more connection to what's going on with the Michael Keaton story. Like, Duquette is kind of like our primary, I guess you'd say, antagonist that needs Keaton to come in to help a little bit. But everybody that pops up from a supporting standpoint really does do a great job of supporting your 3 main cast members. And because those 3 cast members are bringing what they're bringing, it just raises everybody's game. And you end up with something, like I said, that's super fun and super enjoyable, to go and just pop some popcorn and watch for an hour and a half. And that's the other thing. It's a tight movie. You are in and out of the theater, and this doesn't happen very often anymore. But, like, you're in and out in an hour and 45 minutes. Like, nice, tight, quick. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, the action is so good in the movie. It's hard for me not to love this one. So that's all I got on a non-spoiler side, which means it's time for a score. So let's get the old C-Maniacs up. There they are. Like I said, slick script. Technically shot and staged very, very well. The creative standpoint and team of Wenkin Campbell, really create something that works from a script, and the script, sets itself up to have room to breathe, to do really, really cool action things inside of a story that doesn't try to overcomplicate itself. And those things allow the audience to get right into the movie, can get right into the action, get right into these characters, and it allows your characters to build and play off of each other. And the characters that you have here are all super interesting. And then you have 3 actors that just absolutely crush between Keaton, Jackson, and Maggie Q, who, like I said, again, reaffirms, in case we forgot, she is one of the most badass action stars, especially on the female side, in the entire game. And, she just does everything you want in that action star. She can play the sexy, like I said, that chemistry, and just like raw sexual tension between her and Keaton is so palpable, it's so enjoyable, and just adds to the cat and mouse game that they play throughout the entire movie. So when you've got that working for you, and you've got the type of action that hits and is shot correctly, this was just a big old bucket of win for the C-Man. So I am going 4.5 out of 5 C-Maniacs for the Protégé. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And, you know, it's not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but I promise you, if you were a fan of action, you were going to sit back and go, that was an enjoyable ride that I would gladly take again. Like, when this hits, you know, VOD and it's streaming somewhere, I am 100% throwing the Protégé on. So 4.5 out of 5 C-Maniacs for the C-Man. Now it's your turn. I want to know what you're thinking. Have you gone out to the theater to check the Protégé out? It's only in theaters right now. Is it something that, if you went and saw, worked for you? What worked for you? How good did you think the action was? How good did you think the execution was from, you know, your cast members? Were you surprised by how involved in the choreography Michael Keaton was? If you haven't seen the movie, you know, is this something that is up your alley? You know, are you an action fan? Is this something that now gets you excited hearing me be all pumped about it? You know, is this on your list? And if you did see it and didn't like it, what wasn't working for you? Anything you got, good, bad, indifferent, on the Protégé, down below in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with the C-Man anytime. We talk movies, TV, trailer, reactions. You just like what I'm doing, you like the energy, you want to show a little love, support, well, hey, come join C-Maniac Nation. But jumping over there, hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. Until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema, sit down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace, y'all. Oh, hey, what's going on? You must be sticking around because you're looking for more content featuring this guy. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. You can check out more videos right here and right here. And if you have and you want to come join that C-Maniac Nation, you can hit that subscribe right over there.